Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast, Super Bowl edition. The day has finally come. Dynell and I will dig into everything for the Chiefs Niners Super Bowl rematch. We've got props, we've got totals, we've got sides, we've got it all. Let's get right into it. But before we start, let me bring on my right hand man, my dude. Now, welcome back, man. Hope you enjoyed a couple of days off.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? A couple of days is a fucking understatement. I haven't had this type of break in a very, very long time. We're at the end of the road. No boys and men comments there, but can you believe it, bro? Finished our second season together, man. It has been a ride this season, bro. I mean, it's been a gauntlet. We finally reached the end of it, and unfortunately, we end up with probably the America's worst matchup of the year. But let's get started, man. I'm ready to go ahead and dive into some of these prop bets. I got a little bold prediction for you, but then again, it might not be so bold because America wants this to happen. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, obviously, Dynell and I have been really having some interesting experiences this year for our season-long contest. To be exact, we got off to a scorching hot start for those of you guys who followed since week one. Our preseason predictions were, for the most part, pretty solid. I do think we had we were a little bit early to the party on Jordan Love. We were really high on the Packers. And to be honest, we were kind of both really low on the Texans. Those are probably like two of our ones that we wish we could go back and kind of readjust. But yeah, I was really low on the Texans. Obviously, CJ Stroud, that was just an incredible story.
Hell of
We saw Joe Flacco win comeback player of the year. That was awesome. But yeah, this has been an incredible season. So I'm not going to ramble too much, but thank you guys so much for sticking by and, obviously still listening.
Mhm.
We're gonna do our best to finish on a hot note going into next season. We'll do our Super Bowl episode. We really don't know exactly what we're gonna do for this podcast in the off season. We'll probably address that at a later date. So do your due diligence. Follow us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Shred the Spread _. Obviously, we'll do our preseason bets and predictions and preview and all that stuff. But that'll obviously be in the future. But for now, we've got the Niners and Chiefs Super Bowl.
All right, here we go.
So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return.
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Let's see what the current best lines are. You can get the Chiefs at +2.5 on FanDuel. Those are currently the best odds I see in the market. And then for the Niners, if you like the Niners, they are -2 pretty much everywhere else besides FanDuel. A lot of these public books have the Niners at -2. We're going to dig right into it. We're going to start with the sides. Dynell, which side are you on for the Super Bowl?
Chiefs spread, Chiefs money line, Chiefs everything. Basically, that's the general synopsis of it, man. You want to get into it? 'Cause I can definitely dive into this thing right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a couple things on your mind.
Well, here's what's on my mind. What's fresh in my mind is the fact that this 49ers defense has struggled. Struggled mightily on the ground these past couple of weeks. And what has been the Chiefs' strong suit on offense? It's running the damn ball. Isaiah Pacheco has been balling even without Joe Thuney, the left guard, who is again out for the Super Bowl. But I believe the 49ers are giving up 135 rushing yards per game in the last 5. I'm gonna have to fact check that, but I know they've been struggling through the playoffs. Aaron Jones had a day. The Lions clearly had a day. They had 4 to 5 rushing touchdowns that game and then blew it. Dan Campbell. But at the end of the day, man, like that defense has been struggling. Chase Young, oddly enough, Chase Young is talking about getting benched because of effort. I feel like this is a downward spiral right now for this 49ers defense, who still doesn't have a much talented back end. Like I said, I feel like Pacheco's going to have a day. You already know that Mahomes and Kelsey connection is going to be clicking. And we just give a round of applause to this Chiefs defense. Wow, guys. This defense shows up every playoffs. I get that, but man, they took it up a notch this year and into the playoffs, holding the Ravens to 10 points, 13 points? 10 points? Yeah, I think it's 10 points. Absolutely magnificent. They deserve all the credit in the world, bro. And I believe that's going to end up with them raising the Lombardi throughout the year.
Yeah. For those of you who follow us during the playoffs, Dynell and I have pretty much bet against Mahomes every game. And
Getting killed.
we don't know why. I mean, I feel like we just kind of, I don't know, we were just cloudy brain and, hindsight's 2020. But obviously, this is just the spot that you take the Chiefs. And I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of something that you were saying. You were talking about basically the past few games. Like they played the Dolphins, they played the Bills, they played the Ravens. It was never. I think looking back, the media never really gave credit to the Chiefs. It was always what the other team did or didn't do. Like, oh, the Dolphins can't play in the weather.
Right.
Tyler Bass, if he makes that kick, it could be a different story. Oh, the Ravens didn't run the ball. Like it was never credited to the Chiefs. And I think that's the difference because if you look at this 49ers team, they've been trailing every single game and have had these miraculous comebacks.
Totally.
But the difference between those games and the Super Bowl is Brock Purdy was building up momentum, building up rhythm for the second half in the fourth quarter. The Super Bowl is a completely different beast. Dude, there's like a 40-minute Usher concert in the middle of the damn game. You're playing two 30-minute games versus Patrick Mahomes, and you have to be pretty damn perfect to do that and beat him. This is not anything Brock Purdy has dealt with, has experienced. Like this is a completely different beast. Even if let's just say the Chiefs are up 10-0 and Brock Purdy leads them to a touchdown to end the first half. And usually, a regular season game, you're like, well, okay, that gives us some momentum coming off kickoff in the second half. Not necessarily in this circumstance. He has to sit there for 30 minutes and completely try to wipe his mind of what just happened and go out there and perform. That rhythm and momentum is just not going to linger for that long, especially when you have a whole concert in the middle of the game. Like Patrick Mahomes has done this. He's been there. Obviously, you saw it last year. Like he just comes out at halftime and he is just cool and clean and he just delivers. I don't know if that's the case for the Niners in this game. I think the biggest thing is if the Niners want to win, they're going to have to give McCaffrey the ball. I'm not joking, like 30 times with receptions and rushing attempts. But we saw the Mahomes effect every single game and really highlighted versus the Ravens. The Ravens got to that point. They got to the AFC Championship by what? Running the ball. They passed the ball 80% of the time. And that was down 7-10. And the Ravens didn't let up a point in the second half. That just goes to show that because Patrick Mahomes started the game like 14 for 14, whatever it was, Harbaugh was like, shit, we have to score 40. And he went out there and did not stick to their identity. And that is literally the Patrick Mahomes effect. You feel as if I put up 3, we lose because he's getting 7. And nobody seems to trust their team when they face him. Everything goes out the window. The game plan, the script, their identity. And I think that just goes to show how not only talented the Chiefs are in their game plan, and don't even get me started on Spagnuolo. Oh my gosh, that defense, like you said, he may be the third most important on this Chiefs dynasty. It goes Patrick Mahomes, no, fourth. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, then Spagnuolo. Yeah. Ever since Spagnuolo was brought onto his team, he has completely revamped the identity, and this defense was never meant to be this good. I think even the Chiefs are surprised it's good. Patrick Mahomes has always been in shootouts. He's never been on a team where he can't, even if he doesn't put up 21 points, they still win. That's the scary part about this. I think if the Chiefs get a lead in the first half, I just don't see the Niners building momentum to catch up. I'm with you, dude. I love the Chiefs for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. And let's be real, man. I'm glad you brought up Steve Spagnuolo, bro. Former head coach of the Giants at one point, I believe. Didn't really go his way, man. But ever since he became the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, man, he has been a playoff defensive demon. Honestly, now, like I said, I might be over exaggerating here. Not thinking it's me just go off the top of the dome. He might be one of the best defensive coordinators in playoff history. Playoff history. His runs on defense, right? Think about it. The defense struggled the first Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes got. It tightened up when it needs the most in the defense when it comes to the playoffs. Look at the way they're playing now. Like it boggles my mind how well this Chiefs defense has played and how they just keep them in the games. I mean, think about it. Like you said, bro, the Chiefs didn't score a single point in the second half of that Ravens game. But guess what? The Ravens put up 3 and they were down by 10. Like that is remarkable. I mean, he is, like I said, he's probably one of the clutchest defensive coordinators in the game. And giving credit to that defensive unit and the players, of course, but you got to call a good game. And coaching does matter in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Steve Spagnuolo never underperforms. He's always there, and he has been reliable for that Chiefs team. And I just want to bring up another point real quick, too. I'm going to let you guys know this now. Back to the 49ers case. First things first, they're lucky to be there. Now, let me not say lucky because they did earn the right. They came out in the second half firing, but you can't do that and expect to win the Super Bowl.
They were
You
on the
got there.
brisk of death several times.
Dude, they were literally, all it took was a big toe and a pinky toe and 3 other fucking toes to kick 1 goddamn field goal for them to be out. Literally. The Packers kicker missed 2, and of course he deactivated his social media right after that, and I feel him. I mean, that was a heartbreaker. And Dan Campbell decided not to kick the field goals, probably because he saw what happened the previous week, and that bit him in the ass. So it's like it gets to a point where you have to just feel it, and it's like you can't expect that. You don't expect that from a Kansas City team with a head coach who's been there 4 times now, with a special teams unit with a kicker named Harrison Butker. He ain't missing 2. I can tell you that he's not missing 2. And I really am boggled how I feel like people say how they say the 49ers are gonna dog walk the Chiefs. I just don't see it, man. I really, really don't. And let's be honest, like I said, I remember Isaiah Pacheco again. You talk about those 4 top Chiefs players, he definitely belongs on that list too. He's probably right after Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, the way he's been running the ball down the throats each and every game. He had a beautiful game against the Ravens. It was a gritty performance. And he's a workhorse, bro. So, like I said, man, I feel like this screams Chiefs now. I think this is what the Chiefs really wanted.
Yeah. So we talked about the Chiefs offense. We've talked about the Niners defense. One thing I want to bring up that a lot of people are talking about is George Kittle in this situation. They think because the Chiefs kind of play a short stack, that these under routes and these crossing routes kill this team. But realistically, I think L'Jarius Sneed is going to trail Brandon Ayuk and kind of take him out of the game. They're going to have to play team defense on McCaffrey, Debo. And I think their biggest thing is you got to let Kittle do what he does. Kittle, for as much attention as he draws, he's kind of like the odd man out in this team in the playoffs. In the playoffs, Kittle's only having, over his career, 44 yards per game, 3 receptions per game, and he only has 2 total touchdowns in the playoffs. He had a really big game, I think, last year. I can't remember if it was like versus the I can't remember. I think it might have been the Cowboys. But I just think that they're kind of missing like a big link in that offense. And I said it earlier, like McCaffrey may have to touch the ball 30 times. And I'm not even trying to like sound ridiculous, but that's just their identity to beat the Chiefs. If the Niners can run the ball, and you kind of saw what the Eagles tried to do last year. They tried to run the ball a lot, convert on 3rd down. They were going for it. They were trying so much to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand. But that game was like a damn shootout. It was like 70-some points at the end. But that just shows you, even when the Eagles were trying to limit Patrick Mahomes with the ball, every time he got it, he went down there, basically scored 7. So that's what the Niners have to do. They have to try to limit the time of possession for the Chiefs. And I think it's going to come with McCaffrey. I mean, a bet should be McCaffrey over attempts. However, as I said earlier, there's this thing that is like the Patrick Mahomes effect. For some reason, teams feel like they have to put up 7. They seem to pass more than they should. So maybe we take an angle on McCaffrey receptions. I really think Brandon Ayuk has a quiet game. Like prop wise, was there anything that you were looking at targeting? I did say earlier off the air that whoever is active, either Mecole Hardman or Kadarius Toney, they're going to eat. Because Nick Bosa plays so aggressive off the edge, he always goes for the quarterback. He overcommits. This Chiefs team, if you guys remember, last Super Bowl versus the Niners, they ran so many jet sweeps, so many quarterback options. It was just, they took Nick Bosa basically out of the game. And that just goes to show that his over-aggressiveness may be the Achilles heel for this defense, as crazy as that sounds. So I'm really going to be looking at targeting whoever is active between Toney and Hardman. I think they're really sneaky for a touchdown prop, maybe rushing plus receiving yards, whatever it may be, because the jet sweep is available. But I'm curious to see if you have any kind of plays or looks that you're looking for on the props.
Well, mainly what I'm going to be looking for too is actually Isaiah Pacheco receptions too, especially if Jared McKinnon can't really go out there. I mean, think about it. Like I said, Bosa over pursues, and guess who over pursues on the other side? Chase Young. I talked about this before after he even got traded. I tell you, one big thing about Chase Young is his discipline, staying in the gap, staying home, overcommitting. And when you got both of those things going on in the outsides and they're blitzing the rusher, who's going to be in the flats to play that? You got to rely on your linebackers to kind of play the flats there. Honestly, I believe, like I said, when you hit Kelsey around the middle numerous times, consistently. Think about it. He had 11 catches last game. And that just opened up more opportunities for Pacheco to run the ball and also catch the ball out in the backfield in the flat. So honestly, I would actually do a different angle and actually lean towards Isaiah Pacheco receiving yards as well. I mean, receptions as well. I feel like he may have a little bit more of a mark in the game than a lot of people really think. And I feel like he's going to be the secret weapon that kind of opens up this game for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you because I think the Niners are going to be heavily in man. You can't play zone versus Patrick Mahomes. You just cannot do it.
No, absolutely not.
And we got to remember who's their number one corner, Travarius Ward. He was on the Chiefs a few years ago. So if anybody knows his weakness, it's the Chiefs. So I think they're going to be in man. I think they're going to have some safety help. But that just goes to show, like, someone's going to have to pick up Pacheco. And it's not going to be quick. I'm sure it's going to be maybe Fred Warner. He's probably going to get a quick bump off the line. He's going to protect the middle, and then he's going to pick up Pacheco. I'm sure he's not going to run right to him. So that kind of plays into your theory of receptions and or yards. So I like that. Okay, so let's talk total here.
Oh, yeah.
I've kind of got two angles at this. I'm not too keen on the total. I do have a little bit on the under, surprisingly. But that's just because I don't really see this Niners offense just kind of doing what they want. I think they're going to stall out a lot. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to make those tight window passes in the red zone. I think they're going to settle for field goals. And we also got to remember Moody's been like questionable at best. He's been shaky.
Right.
He is a rookie. I know there's some pressure. And I know he's going to go out there, and this moment does kind of eat some guys. So, if he's already been struggling, I don't even imagine how he's going to be feeling for this game. So I do feel like there's going to be some missed field goals. Harrison Butker, surprisingly, besides the extra point, because extra point, he's been weirdly shaky in the Mahomes era, but he's been pretty much, dude, that guy's been lights out. So
yeah,
I think he has the most 50-yard field goals in playoff history. He's basically the Adam Vinatieri of the Tom Brady run. Like, the guy is just, he's nails. But I do like the under. So what do you think about the total?
Bro, love the under. Don't like it. I love it. I've been saying under ever since I seen the match, ever since that last game where I saw the 49ers won that game, I said under. I think the biggest thing with me is I know that from the past two games that the 49ers have played, they got out to slow starts. Once you get out to a slow start against the Chiefs and the Chiefs kind of get up ahead, I feel like at the end of the day, drives end up stalling out. Brock Purdy is now back to playing behind again under pressure. And yes, he has silenced the critics for these last 2 weeks from playing behind and winning the games. At the end of the day, like I said, this is a whole different ball game. We all know that Lions defense gets exposed in the passing game. What did they do in the second half? Got exposed. The Packers, yes, they were a very decent team, very good team. They had a lead, but guess what? They gave that back up as well. I give credit to Brock Purdy as it is. Like I said, Steve Spagnuolo and his defense is a whole different beast. This defense is versatile. They can blitz, they can zone, they can play man. And honestly, bro, like, I don't see let me put it like this. This game at most would be 24-20. At most. The over-under is at 47.5. I can let you know right now.
I had 2016.
Yeah, 20 exactly. 2016, 2017, 24-20. It's going to be under. I love the under here. And like I said, man, like the Chiefs defense, the Chiefs offense gets it done. This just gets it done. That's what they're kind of what the thing is. They don't explode like they used to. They don't dominate like they used to. They've been doing really well with Rashee Rice, getting him opportunity as a rookie. But like you said, I got a rookie outside receiver. I still fully can't trust Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That's your 1 and 2 right now. And this game's going to be grit and grind, running the ball. I feel like Pacheco's going to get the ball a lot. And, of course, Travis Kelce's going to have a lot of targets. That's mainly, I feel like that's going to be the game plan. And as for the 49ers, that Chiefs defense, like I said, I can't say this enough. That Chiefs defense is going to lock them down. That's how I really honestly feel about that.
Yeah, so I like the under. I don't love it. I do like it, but I kind of played this angle. So I feel that there's two ways this game's going to go. I think the Chiefs win like 20-16, 21-17, somewhere around there. But I could also see a world where the Chiefs put up like 35 points. And because the Niners just can't stop him. And I mean, that goes to play in my, like the whole under is kind of ethereal. And I don't think the Niners are going to put up a lot of points just because I think Brock Purdy has been flourishing off of that momentum. And as I said earlier, that huge gap in the middle of the game, that takes away all that rhythm and momentum that you had in the first half. He's got to regain all that in the second half. So I played this angle. Niners total points, their team total is 24.5. That seems extremely high.
Right.
So I played the under there. That's a little bit safer to me because if the Chiefs do put up 35, 31, somewhere around there, you do have a little bit more leeway because we like the under because mainly the Chiefs defense. So I do like that. I do like the Niners team total under as a safer play. Obviously, it's a little bit more juiced at like minus 120, depending on where you're looking. So a little bit more juice than the total for the game. But I do like the Niners team total under. Let's talk touchdown scores.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we can go. I mean, I've probably got like 3 in mind. Off the top, is there anybody who you're just jumping out like you love them?
No, I love him. Well, this goes with my this like I said, this goes with my bold prediction. But Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I do. I definitely agree. I think Travis Kelce gets in there. I think him and Patrick have just been, you saw it in the Ravens game. He just that was a perfect pass to a perfect really ran route to a perfect catch and possession. So, and that was on Kyle Hamilton, an all-pro safety.
Yes,
so that's like that's not an easy catch whatsoever. Back shoulder, perfect. I love it. You're getting Travis Kelce, who, when he's playing a little bit hurt, he looks 40. But when he gets some rest, and he's got 2 weeks here, I mean, he's going to look 25. He plays with passion, and that's one thing I do like about Travis Kelce. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and he plays with emotion, and I think that just directly impacts his ability on the field and the way he plays. So I like Travis Kelce. Also like Isaiah Pacheco. Dude's been money. If you bet him every week, you're making money. He might have one in last 6 or 7 or like 7 of 8 or whatever it is, but he's been
fire.
Money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if Jerick McKinnon comes back, he comes in for third down sometimes, and they run it in with him. But I think Pacheco's kind of earned that pedigree on that offense. He's just the guy. So I do like Isaiah Pacheco. And then earlier, I said if you guys want to take a shot in the dark, depending on whoever's active, throw a couple shekels on Mecole Hardman or Kadarius Toney. I think respectively, they're like 10 to 16 to 1 to wherever you look. I think you can find Mecole for like 20 to 1 on some books. I don't know. Obviously, Kadarius Toney hasn't really been playing. He's been like those not healthy scratch. They say he's hurt, but he's, going to Instagram Live being a pain in the ass. But I do remember Mecole Hardman. I think he fumbled like twice versus the Bills. So he's kind of been on the shit list. But I just think their play style and their scheme is going to help the Chiefs do what they want to do. Because if they're in the game, they're going to get touches. They're going to eat. That's just how it's going to be. Andy Reid's going to have to use them if he wants to negate some of that pressure coming from the Niners. So I do think there's some decent value in there. So I agree with Dynell. We like Travis and Isaiah. And then I said throw a couple. It's a shot in the dark, but Hardman or Toney.
Yeah,
It's really hard. Go ahead.
No, listen. Yeah, I got 2 more. Like I said, on the 49ers side as well. I'm just gonna throw in there.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to find some Niners.
I got 2. Yeah, I got 2. Yeah, Debo.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Debo's versatility is just like McCaffrey's, but McCaffrey's gonna get a lot of the look only because he's out in the backfield. He's out of the backfield. You're gonna see a lot of looks of Debo everywhere, slot, outside, backfield as well. They're definitely gonna run that 2 running back set at least 5 times this game. Teams get creative. So I really like Debo. I really like Debo here because I know Debo can make a man miss, get an open field, and really do like a 25, 30-yard scamper for a touchdown. I can definitely see that. And I'm going to give you a bold one. Now, I want you to hear me out on this. I'm going to give you a little bold one. Kyle Juszczyk. Nice little bold one. Plus 900.
He's been playing a little bit more.
Facts. And on top of that, with McCaffrey, with all those weapons on the outside, McCaffrey being back in the backfield, watch Kyle Juszczyk as a fullback on one of those play actions. We all know, Kyle Shanahan does like that West Coast offense, and he does love running play action. I'm letting you know right now, I can just see Kyle Juszczyk slipping out, getting a nice one. His odds is at plus 900 right now. I think it's great value. Throw a little $5, $10 on that, man. Will you $90, something like that? But nah, I think Kyle Juszczyk is a very, very sneaky play you can throw in there to get you some big bang for your buck.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely a dark horse. I mean, you saw him. He ran out there and ran around and did a toe touch to the sideline. I mean, the guy's athletic.
Versatile.
He is just there. So he can do it all. So I agree. So those are some touchdown. Talked about little props. I kind of like George Kittle's unders, just because I'm gonna go with history. But I agree with you. I think Debo's probably the guy on the Niners, just because he does see the volume and he's the guy hit plays every snap at 110%. They say that's his downfall, but obviously if you're playing in the Super Bowl, that's what you want out of your guys. So I agree with you on Debo. I think he does. He probably does get in there. So I didn't tell you this, but I kind of cooked up our this is our Shred the Spread podcast parlay. Our first Shred the Spread podcast parlay. We seem to agree on these.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Whatever I already kind of
So
know.
it's plus 533. So I'll tell you all what, for everybody listening, well, I'm gonna throw $100 on this. If it hits, we'll give away half to a listener.
Okay.
So well, in the next episode, whatever, if this hits, we'll give away half, or we'll split it up a few ways to give to people, little listeners of the podcast. So we'll make a tweet or we'll come on, whatever. We'll give out some of the winnings. But here is the Shred the Spread podcast parlay, our first one. It is Chiefs money line, 49ers under 24.5 team total,
Yep.
Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown, and Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions.
Put that in the fucking books.
I mean, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? There you go. I was about to say that. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? All right. So this plays everything into our game script. I think Pacheco gets in. I took the Pacheco angle because we know the Niners, they do have Fred Warner, and I think he might be targeting Travis Kelce in the red zone. So I think if Travis Kelce gets in, I think it's going to be on like a 25, 30 yard pass where he, the little pick play, screen pass. I think Pacheco's going to be the red zone guy. So that's kind of the game script. So that's Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown, Niners team total under 24.5, Kansas City Chiefs money line, and Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. That on FanDuel plays 533. There's obviously so many books you can kind of put that in to configure it yourself. So if you are tailing that, look around, get the best odds value. There's so many books that have promos. So they have like the sweat free bet on FanDuel. They have the DraftKings where if they'll basically match your bet and bonus bets. I think it's like the LeBron one, like $10 or whatever. He'll give you they'll give you $10 basically like as a free bet. So go around. Obviously, if you like, I think if you do want to switch something, Dynell and I kind of talked about, if you want to go Pacheco receptions, Travis Kelce touchdown, you could also swap that. That's kind of variation. We'll probably be playing a variation of all these. So that is our STS first podcast parlay. Dude, couple days till the Super Bowl.
I love it.
I mean, there's really almost only so much shit we could talk about. I mean, I pretty much got everything off my chest. Is there anything that you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, actually, let me ask you a question. Bold prediction. I mean, not bold prediction. Who is your Super Bowl MVP?
I'm gonna give it to Mahomes.
Right. I mean, I feel that.
It's chalky, but just how the Super Bowl is, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I mean, if McCaffrey gets in 3 times, that's the only thing. Like, I think the Chiefs win, and if the Chiefs win, it's just going to be on like Patrick. And I don't necessarily think it's just going to be like, just give it to the quarterback. I just think he's just, this may be like a game-winning drive, sets him up for a field goal, or like game-winning touchdown. Maybe they come back late. Like he's just obviously he's the engine that makes everything run. So I'll be chalky. I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes, and which there's no value on that, but did you have like a dark horse, or were you going anywhere with that?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily a dark horse. It's more kind of bold, and it just kind of fits with everything that's going on. Swift Mania. I feel like Travis Kelce would be the first tight end to win the Super Bowl MVP this year.
I could see it, especially if gets in twice.
Yeah, gets in twice.
Throws a touchdown because you know how Andy Reid does.
Right. And didn't Kelce play quarterback at one point when he was in high school?
He did. He wanted to play quarterback. He wanted to. You could tell he wanted to play quarterback by the way he plays. He just wants the ball.
Damn right. He gonna bust a Dougie in that bitch 3 times.
Patrick Mahomes plus 150 Super Bowl MVP. Not bad, but you might as well bet the Chiefs to win. Right. And then Travis Kelce 14-1. So really good odds on that. They got Pacheco at 25-1. He's the third.
Gotta like favorite. That. Actually, I can't lie to you. That's a dark horse too. I mean, honestly, if he can get into,
probably gonna take 3 touchdowns though, most likely.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take 3 touchdowns or 2 in a low scoring game.
Yeah, like two 130 rushing yards, like a Terrell Davis type day, because Terrell Davis won the Super Bowl MVP with 156 rushing yards and I believe 3 touchdowns. So yeah, I think that's the last running back to get the Super Bowl MVP for the
But
Broncos.
all I'm gonna, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What I will say is they've got the Niners favored to win, but Patrick Mahomes is the favorite for Super Bowl MVP. That's all I'm saying. That's the last thing we're saying.
Exactly.
That's the last thing I'm saying on this podcast. This has been our Shred the Spread Super Bowl edition. Thank you guys for an awesome season. We look forward to running it back next season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hit that parlay. Let's give away some money. Follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. Make sure you check back in our next episode. Maybe we'll do like an off-season update. We'll talk about, if the parlay hits, what we're doing with that. Obviously follow us on Twitter. Stay up to date. And then on that next episode, we'll kind of give some more information about what we're doing. Maybe we'll dabble in some other sports, kind of keep busy. But Dynell and I are going to take a much needed break, mental, physical, whatever it may be. Dynell, last words before we get out of here.
No, I just want to say thank you guys again, bro. Like I said, this has been another great and successful year. Well, I mean, we can say a successful year, right? I mean, we've grown the following. Yeah, we've grown the following. Even like I said, the fact that we got people from the UK listening, that's tremendous. Thank you guys from the UK that really support us. And be honest with you guys, man, I mean, this has been a long journey. I mean, from the beginning, from the start. I mean, if you guys have a chance, just go listen to us, our first podcast. I mean, boy, was that cringy. Was that cringy, man? So just look, just thinking about that and then where we're at now, man, it really speaks volume to the work we put in, the effort we put into the time. I mean, think about it. Me and Jared's work schedules have changed throughout the years, man. It has been very, very daunting, very, very, exhausting, but we always want to give you guys the best content possible, and you guys supporting us gives us that motivation to do that. And I 100% appreciate you guys. And like I said, during the offseason, that doesn't mean you guys can't hit me up. Hit me up on the DM at Dynell on X. Send me any questions. Like I said, I know I've been kind of slow with the basketball, but basketball's starting to get into it. You can ask Jared. I had one bet right then. I called the game like that. Jalen Duran's one of my favorite picks right now. He's really hot. So yeah, just stay tuned, guys. Really stay tuned. I got a lot of content for you guys coming up here soon. Well, as far as on X with some basketball bets. And yeah, bro, let's keep this train rolling. And you guys have a nice little break. We'll see y'all next year.
Yeah. Let's go Chiefs. Let's win the Super Bowl. Don't even sound right saying that.
Yeah,
but for the Shred the Spread podcast, our last episode of this season, I'm your host, Jared. He's my co-host, Dynell, and for our awesome producer, Tyler, holding it down all season as he always does.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Tyler.
again for listening.
Yes.
And until our next episode, TBD, we'll see you.
Peace.